For me, my fondest memory, I would say, is probably the first time my grandfather took me fishing. I grew up without a father in my life, so my grandfather was the only dad I really had, and I was probably like 3 or 4 years old. But he took me fishing for the first time, and I don't remember a whole lot from it, but I do remember like the feelings, like the emotions that I had from it. It was a very happy, joyous thing. I can kind of picture the pond as us on the dock still. I can even hear like the song on the radio that was playing on the way there, which was one of the Uncle Kracker songs, "Follow Me." And every time I hear that song, it reminds me of my grandfather, and it always makes me happy. He died when I was 5. I didn't really know him too long, but he was supposed to be a very good man. He hated liars. You know, he was a very honest man. If something ever happened, an argument ever rose around work or anything that he was involved in, they'd always ask him for the unbiased opinion on it. He was loved by everyone. He never made any enemies. He was a very pacifist person, so he's like I'm kind of like that myself. I don't like fighting. I don't like arguments. I think that shaped a lot of who I am, despite the fact that I only knew him till I was 5. I actually do have a memory from when he passed away. I'll never forget that day. He came home from work because he worked for the township, right, for the town where I live in. He came home for lunch that day, and me being like a little teeny kid, like really short, I asked him like, "Hey, please stay home. I want to hang out. I want to play." And she's like, "No, man, no, I gotta go to work. I gotta, I have work to do." And I'm like, "No, something bad might happen." And a kid just says that just to say that, right? Doesn't really mean a whole lot. You're just trying to convince them to stay home. And he's, I enjoyed him being home for lunch, but he ended up leaving to go back to work. And it was like 2 or 3 hours later when we heard a knock at the door, and it was a squad car out front. And being really young, I didn't really know a whole lot was going on. My grandma answered the door, and I was there because I was in the living room when they knocked. And we had found out that he passed away at work. The ironic part is he actually worked for the township, where their current job was to work at a cemetery cutting down trees. And that's where he died. Was the person that was working with him did not cut the tree properly. They didn't put a notch in it, and it fell and it landed on him. So he died at a cemetery. Not even the same one he's buried in, but I think it's kind of an ironic thing to die there. Not a memory that goes with that one, that to me is very connected, is about 3 or 4 days later, me being a little kid, I just lost my grandfather. I was, not in the happiest place. I was really sad. I woke up one night to go to the bathroom because I just really had to go to the bathroom really bad. And I turned to the left out of my bedroom, and I can see the living room. And in front of the TV in my living room, I saw there was a stranger in my house, and it freaked me out. Like, I felt like at peace, like I wasn't scared, but it was like, there's somebody in my house. I don't know who this is. So I ran into my grandmother's room and said, hey, Grandma, there's somebody in our house. And I said, they're wearing your bathrobe. It looks just like the one that you have on the back of your door. And it was this white bathrobe. And I didn't know what it was. I was only 5 years old. But I told my grandma, like, I need to go to the bathroom. That's why I got up. So I went to the bathroom, and when I was done, we walked through the house together to go find the stranger that was in our house. And all the doors and all the windows were locked. We couldn't find any way that somebody would have came in or out. Like, there was no signs of anything. We live in a very small town, so like robberies and stuff isn't a thing here. So it was very peculiar. And she asked me like more details, like, what did I see? I was like, well, I saw them in front of the TV, and they were dressed in like this white bathrobe, like nightgown thing, and it was weird because I could like see the TV behind them, even though they were standing in front of it. And my grandmother that day had told me that what I had saw was an angel. And being a kid, I never knew what these were. So if I could say something to the world, I think I would say to love people, to go that extra mile. You see somebody that needs help, that somebody's maybe struggling, go out, help them. Sometimes somebody just needs a friend to talk to. Sometimes they just need a distraction. And try to reach out to those people that need it. Try to love each other. There's no reason to start wars and arguments over things that there's, in the end, doesn't really matter too much. Just love each other for who you are, even if you don't agree with somebody's, political stances or something. or their religious stances, you can still love them. You know, it's one of those things that I think everybody struggles with, but at the same time, we should try to strive to better ourselves. So my message to the world would be to love each other.